So Mr. Sarthak, let us understand what are square roots. Square roots. Mr. Sarthak, are we aware what are squares? What is square of a number? Mr. Ariman?
Yes, sir.
So what is a square of a number, Mr. Ariman?
Square of number is when you multiply the number by itself.
How many times?
Once.
Square of a number. So for example, if I ask you what is the square of 4, so what you are suggesting? Yeah, what you are suggesting is कि sir आप 4 into 4 कर लीजिए, you'll get the square of the number. And
Yes.
additional information, because we have already done indices in pretty much detail. Additional information that you have is that 4 into 4 can also be written as 4 square. Is there any doubt till here?
No, sir.
Mr. Sarthak, is there any doubt?
No, sir.
So if I want cube of a number, then cube of a number is, so for example, if I want to find cube of 4 only, I'll write it 4 into 4 into 4. Mr. Ariman, do you agree?
That will be 4 raised to 3. So that's 4 cube. 64.
Mr. Sarthak, do we agree?
Yes, sir.
There is something called a square root. Square root. And there is also something called cube root. So these are usually the most famous roots. So one is a square root and another is a cube root. The basic logic is that you take this number 16. So if 4 square is 16, so 4 square. If the square of a number is this, then the square root, actually I should write it as like this. So if the square of a number is 16, the square root of this number would be this. So this would be written as root 16. Square root of 16 is equal to 4. Have I been able to explain or not, Mr. Sarthak?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a few more examples. 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let us take. So this is the basic number that I have. This is a number that I have. I want to take square of this number. So Mr. Aravan, what will be the square of 10?
100.
5.
25.
6.
36.
7.
49.
8.
64.
So what you will say is कि आप अगर 10 का square करेंगे, it will be equal to 100. Do we agree to this, or do we have any confusion in this also? Mr. Sarthak,
Yes, sir.
is there any confusion till here?
No, sir.
Are we okay about square of a number?
Yes, sir.
And now what I'm suggesting is that the square root of a number is actually a reverse process. तो उसमें आप क्या करते हैं? You take this number and you put this umbrella over it, and this will be equal to this number. Are you getting the hang of it?
Yes, sir.
Actually, the square root is a reverse process of square in very simple terms. Is it making sense?
Yes, sir.
See, I want to add now, and I don't want to add to further confusion, but just for your understanding. So, when you are maybe in 9th or 10th, or when you are looking back at this lecture. So one thing that I just wanted to, make clear here is, which is not required now. Actually, the square root of 100 would be 10 as well as minus 10. So it is written as plus minus 10. Now, I don't want to explain this further. I just wanted to make a comment here. Mr. Sarthak, any problem?
No, sir.
So just forget about it. You can completely ignore this. So let us take a few more examples and try to understand what is happening. So there, basically, when I have two things that I can do. So for example, See, these are just mathematical operations. Now, what are mathematical operations? Mathematical operation का मतलब ये हुआ कि फॉर एग्जांपल अभी तक हमने प्लस किया, माइनस किया, डिवाइड किया, मल्टीप्लाई किया. So these are the mathematical operations that we have. Now, these are the few other mathematical operations that we have. One operation is called square, the other is called a square root. And basically, these two operations are opposite of each other. Mr. Sarthak, any doubt? Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
So, for example, if I have 11, the square of 11 would be 121. But then, if the square is 121 and I want to find the square root of 121, please understand it is the square root of 121. Square root of 121 would be 11.
11.
If the square of 12 is 144, then the square root of 144 would be 12. Square of 13 is 169. Square root of 169 would be 13. Square of 15 is 225 and square root of 225 is 15. Mr. Sarthak,
Yes, sir.
any doubt?
No, sir.
You can also understand this like this कि अगर मुझे 11 से यहाँ 121 पे जाना है, I'll do a square. But if I want to return back, I'll do a square root. Mr. Satya, any doubt?
Yes, sir. I didn't understand. Like, if we have only square root, then how do we have to find the square?
वो सब पता चल जाएगा. आपको लॉजिक समझ आ रहा है, आपको वो मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन समझ आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है, वो सब
समझ
मैं
आ
आपको बता. पहले तो आपको एक टॉपिक का कंसेप्ट समझ आना चाहिए ना, उसके बाद आप वो करना कैसे, वो मेरी ड्यूटी है, वो मैं आपको समझा देता हूँ. बट all I want to make sure is you understand that if you take a number, you square it, you will get 225. But then from 225, if you want to get back, you will have to do a square root. And that is the first thing that I want to make clear. And the second thing that I want to make clear is, because in mathematics, basically we have a lot of symbols. Now the symbols that are used here, the symbols that are used here is 11 square is 121. This is the symbol that we use. And this is an umbrella. 121 is a umbrella. And this says, and the square root of 121 is 11. Mr. Aryaman, any doubt?
No, sir.
So this is about squares. We don't require cube roots right now, but I'll just give you a brief idea of how to find cube roots. I won't go into the details because we are discussing this just to understand how to do Pythagoras questions. So in Pythagoras, I don't require cube roots, but I'll just give you a glimpse of it. So what is a cube root? So for example, I have a number 5. I take a cube of it. So 5, 25, 125. So what I say is cube of 5 is 125. Do we agree to this? Mr. Sarthak?
Yes, sir.
But then I want to come back from 125 to 5 cube. Then I say the cube root of 125 is 5. And if you observe, this little 3 is a symbol of cube root. Mr. Aryaman, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
Cube root, we won't go into detail. I just wanted to give you a glimpse. Now we need to answer Mr. Satya's question ki sir, आपने ये बता दिया, ha ha, hu hi, मजा आया. But then how do we find the square roots? Okay. So these are the examples that I had taken, and just to review the concept. So 1 square is 1, but this symbol. So you can have another question ki sir jab hum cube root karte hain, when we write cube root, so for example I write the cube root of 1000, I write a little 3 here, but why don't I write a little 2 here when I am finding the square root? So that is a convention that, for example, you don't require 1x, you don't write 1x square, you don't write 1x cube, you simply write x, you simply write x square, you simply write x cube. So the convention that is followed is, if you are finding the square root, then this little 2 is not written. Mr. Aryaman, any doubt? Mr. Sarthak, any doubt?
No, sir.
So 1 square is 1, 5 square is 25, but the square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 100 is 10. Square root of 49 is 7. Mr. Sarthak, Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
And down the line, maybe in the next class, what you will have to understand is, which I have just touched and not explained in detail. Actually, the root 100 is equal to plus minus 10. But we are ignoring this minus sign now. But down the line, we'll have to take care of this also. Okay. So I think you have understood the concept of square roots. Now, how to find the square roots? Now, one would be, now there are two types of numbers that you will get. One would be the very nice numbers, very gentle numbers. They are the nice boys of square roots. Let me show you the nice boys. Do we have any doubt about prime factorization?
No, sir.
Mr. Aryaman? So let us take an example of, if you have to find, so this is a very nice number, root of 36, square root of 36. Now, how do I find the square root of 36? Basically, whatever number is written here, I take the prime factors. So the prime factors of 36, as you can see here, is 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. Mr. Aryaman, any doubt?
No, sir.
And how do I do prime factorization? Basically, I take the LCM. The process that I do for LCM, I repeat here. Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
So this is prime factorization. Prime factorization basically means, basically the word itself is very obvious. There are prime numbers and all the prime numbers are the factors. So these are the prime numbers and they are factors. So I can write 36 as this. Now, usually what I give the example is that basically for prime factorization, for finding the square roots, this is the example that I usually take of, you need love kush. If you are aware of Mahabharata, then you need pairs of love kush. How do I find the pairs of love kush? So for example, अगर महाभारत पढ़ी है सुनी है तो ठीक है, नहीं सुनी तो वो भी ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. ये देखिए, ये एक लव कुश मिल गया, ये एक लव कुश मिल गया. मिस्टर आर्यमन, एनी डाउट?
No doubt, sir.
मिस्टर सार्थक, एनी डाउट?
No, sir.
अभी जैसे ही आपको लव कुश मिल गया, उसमें से एक लड़का बाहर आ जाएगा और एक भाग जाएगा, और साथ में जो छतरी है, दिस विल वैनिश. मिस्टर सत्या, एनी डाउट?
No, sir.
So let us try to understand this again, because first time it becomes a bit confusing. Let us take another example. So these are the very good numbers. इसमें आपको सारे जो numbers हैं, ये देखिए. So if I want to find the square root of 64, so what do I do? Note कर लीजिए actually. Step 1. Do prime factorization. Can you note this down? Do prime factorization. Mr. Sarthak, can you note this down?
Yes, I'm not.
Step 2. Find love kush. लव कुश मतलब pairs. Step 3. Love will remain Kush will vanish. Any doubt?
No, sir.
So let us take another example. So for example, I have 64. So 64, I do the prime factorization. These are the numbers that I get. So this would be under the umbrella. This would be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. Yeah. I have a love kush here, love kush here, love kush here. तो अभी क्या होगा? Because I have found all the pairs, love will remain. Love कौन सा है? ये love रहेंगे और जो कुश है वो भाग जाएगा. So the answer is 2, 4, 8. Mr. Aryaman, any doubt?
No, sir.
Again, I'll repeat what I had said before. Mr. Sarthak, any doubt?
No, sir.
I'll repeat. You will get two kind of numbers when you are finding square roots, and of course we'll meet both the numbers. When you are doing square roots, you will get good numbers and you will get wicked numbers. And you will shortly understand what do I mean by wicked numbers. Let's deal with the good numbers first. So let us take another example. So for example, let us take this number 144. I want to find the square root of 144. Again, I do the prime factorization. See, the prime factorization would happen under the umbrella. Please do not forget it. You will forget it. And then you will have to look at the video again. These are the prime factorization. Again, I'll have to find the love kush. Love kush, love kush, love kush. Love will remain. Love will remain. And kush will vanish. So will the umbrella. So square root of 144 will be 2, 4, 8. I think I have made a mistake. Yeah, 2, 4, 3. This would be 12. Mr. Aryaman, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Mr. Sarthak, any doubt?
No, sir.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now these are the good numbers that we have met. अब ये सारे good numbers मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ because you'll find exact pairs. So ये देखिए, ये pairs हैं एकदम बढ़िया, very nice numbers. Very nice numbers. But then you will meet the wicked numbers also. So for example, if you want to find the square root of 324. Why am I calling it wicked? Because आप इसका जब prime factorization करते हैं, this is a love kush, this is a love kush. There is no pair for this. Mr. Aryaman, can you see?
Yes.
Mr. Sarthak, can you see?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Satya, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
अब देखिए, बात समझिए, लॉजिक समझिए. ये लव कुश बन गया, लव कुश बन गया. अभी इनका तो काम हो गया यार, तो कुश भाग गया और लव रह गया. Any doubt till here?
No doubt, sir.
बट इसका तो कोई भाई नहीं है ना, तो ये अंदर ही रहेगा. Mr. Sarthak, any doubt?
No, sir.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
See, we'll do examples, don't worry. And again, just to repeat, this is a confusing topic. The first few 5 or 10 questions you'll get confused. What I'll strongly suggest is, because after this, I'll send you a worksheet that you'll have to submit by Sunday. And wherever you get confused, just look at this video again. So for example, I want to find the square root of 256. Now 256, again, you'll have to understand when you take the LCM, you'll understand कि यार ये तो wicked number है. Why wicked? Because ये देखिए, ये एक number अकेला रह गया. Mr. Aryaman, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Sarthak, have you understood the difference between wicked numbers and good numbers?
Yes, sir.
So Mataji को phone कर Mataji को phone कर लेते हैं. So love will remain, कुछ will vanish with the square root, और 2 का कोई साथी नहीं है तो उसको तो बैठना ही पड़ेगा, वो कहीं जा नहीं सकता. So this is 2, 4, 8, 8 root 2. Are we clear? Mr. Sarthak, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
I think it will be better now that you start doing the questions, because आप questions नहीं करेंगे तो आपको समझ नहीं आएगा. मैं ऐसे भाषण देता रहूँगा, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. See, I'll give you a little hint. When you are doing these questions, so most of the numbers would be divisible by 2, 3, 7 or maximum 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. हाँ बस यहीं तक हो जाएगा. Maybe in extreme cases you'll find 13. You'll have to do question number 14. Mr. Satya, have you understood?
Yes.
Mr. Araman, any doubt? See, before we start Pythagoras, this would be the basic requirement that will be required. Just try to do these 5 questions. Mr. Sarthak, can you start?
Yes, sir.
And also what you can do is, because I think you will get you have understood the concept. What you can do is just try to do this question also. These 3 questions also. You will understand how to do these questions. Okay, you can start. Okay, Mr. Sarthak, how should I do fourth first part? 729 square root.
Yes, sir. So the prime factors will be 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3.
How many 3 should I write?
So 3 threes.
3 threes? Okay. Any
So
more?
So it will be 9 into 3 equals 27.
So in total there are 729 square root is equal to 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. Mr. Satya, is it correct?
Yes.
Mr. Araman, is it correct?
Yes.
So sir, as discussed, love kush. Any doubt about this?
No, sir.
3 will remain, other 3 will vanish, and so will this umbrella. So Mr. Sarthak, the answer would be
So 27.
47. You can check the answer by taking the square. It should be equal to 729. Mr. Araman, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No doubt.
So this is a good number, and see, usually like good people, you won't meet good numbers often. So let us take 4096. Mr. Sarthak, 4096. Have you been able to do 4096?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what are the factors?
So it will be 2 into 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 2.
How many 2s are there?
12.
So it will be 6. 6. So it will be 64.
There are 12 twos in the under root, and then after addition there is.
वो मिस्टर सार्थक क्रिप्टिक क्लूज देते हैं, डायरेक्ट नहीं देते. So 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Arman, is it correct?
Yes.
Mr. Satya, is it correct?
Yes, sir.
तो अभी पेयर्स अगर आप बनाएंगे तो you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs. So this will be 2 into 2. The answer will be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. And again, if you want to check the answer, 64 square should be equal to 4096. Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
I think all of these numbers are good numbers. I think that is what has happened. Okay. Now look at these numbers. I think I'm assuming that all of these are good numbers. These would be the wicked numbers. Now, how to let us understand? Let us understand the question first. So, what is the question? The question is, for each of the following numbers, find the smallest whole number by which it should be multiplied so as to get a perfect square number. Also, find the square root of the square number that is obtained. So, let us try to understand this. The first number is 252. Mr. Arman, were you able to do this question?
So I can try it. So I didn't get time to go to the first question. I could only finish with the first.
Okay. Okay, this part is easy.
Yes.
So 252, square root of 252 is 2 into 2 into 7 into 3 into 3. Mr. Sarthak, do we agree till here?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Satya, do we agree?
Yes, sir.
Now let us find the love kush. There is a love kush, there is a love kush. So 2 and 3 will come out, 7 will remain here. Mr. Aryaman, Mr. Sarthak, any doubt?
No, sir.
Now, Mr. Aryaman, what do you suggest? If we want to take the 7 out, what should we do?
So then we'll have to find the square root of the 7.
I'm sorry?
We'll have to find the square root of 7.
Okay, let us try to understand the question again. For each of the following numbers, find the smallest whole number by which it should be multiplied so as to get a perfect square number. So let us take a smaller number. Let me take a number like, let me take a smaller number like 5. Let me take a number like 20. So find the square root of 20. Now, if I want to find the square root of 20, I'll have to find the LCM of 20. Mr. Sarthak, do you agree? Mr. Arman, do you agree?
Yes.
So to find the square root of 20, I need to, the first step is to take the LCM. Now, again, if I observe, I can take these two numbers out.
Yes.
I can take these two numbers out. Why can't I take these two numbers out? Because love kush ho gaya, तो बाहर आ गया, अंदर रह गया 5. Now, if you try to understand, अगर मैं, please try to understand, अगर कुछ ऐसा हो जाए, if I am able to do this, that if I am able to do this, that I multiply this by, if I multiply this by 5, again this would be multiplied by 5. Do you agree to what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sarthak, do you agree to what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
तब क्या होगा? Then again this will become a love push. If this becomes a love push, the number would be 2 into 5 and this would be 10. Mr. Arman, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
So, but this number has now changed to 100. Can you see that? Mr. Sarthak, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So then what is the number that I require? What is the whole number that I require? This is a number that I require so that 20, if multiplied by 5, I get 100. And 100 is a good number. Why? Because its square root is 10. Because square root of 100 is 10. Mr. Sarthak, are you able to get it or not?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ariman?
I understood, sir.
So let us look at this number. So Sarthak, what do you suggest? What is that number which can make this a good number?
7 into 7.
If I multiply this with 7, then this will become a good number. Mr. Satya, समझ नहीं आया?
No, sir, I didn't understand.
ठीक है, कोई problem नहीं. 3 to the 6, 7 to the 21, 42. Mr. Sarthak, we have a doubt.
No, sir.
So the number would be 7 to the 14, 7 to the 35, 36, 7 to the
1764.
1764. So 1764 ka square root would be 42. Mr. Sarthak, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
I'll take another example. I think then you'll understand. And even if you are not able to understand this, it is absolutely okay. Because right now our requirement is to understand the square roots. So अगर आपको ये नहीं भी समझ आ रहा है, it's not much of an issue. If you are able to understand how to find square roots, that now is good enough. We can do this in detail again. So let us take this example, 180. Mr. Satya, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So if you are able to find the square roots, that is good enough. But I just want you to take a step more so that the things become clearer. So now root 180 is written as 2 into 2, 3 into 3, 5. So Mr. Sarthak, which is the smallest number which I can multiply both sides by so that it becomes a good number?
So 5.
Sir, 5. Mr. Ariman, do you agree?
Yes.
And here I'll have 8 5 the 40, 900. The square root of 900 is 30, and which is correct because if I do 30 square, it will be equal to 900.
Yes.
Mr. Sarthak, have you understood now?
Yes, sir.
Because see, this is in your syllabus, and but I think this is in class 8. So yes, then next year you'll be doing this. But ठीक है, कुछ extra कर देंगे, नुकसान नहीं होता. You want me to explain this question also, Mr. Sarthak, or you have understood? Mr. Ariman, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Mr.
So
Sarthak, should I explain this? Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna explain.
So I understood it.
कर ही लो यार, कर दीजिए. 2 5 the 0 4 the 2 2 the 2 5 the 2 the 2 6 2 6 3 7 9 3 3. I think you would be able to see the answer now. Can you see the answer?
Into 7 and 2. No, sorry, only into 7.
Sarthak, can you see the answer?
Yes, sir.
So this 1008 needs to be multiplied by this 7. 7 8 the 56 and 70. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So as homework, Mr. Sarthak, what you can do is you can do the rest of the questions. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And if you want, you can do this 4th, 5th, and 6th also. Mr. Sarthak, any doubt? Mr. Ariman, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So this is all about square roots, and this is all about square roots. Now we'll use square roots to understand the Pythagoras theorem. Mr. Sarthak, any doubt in square roots?
No, sir.
I'll repeat again. See, because that is what we'll require when we are doing Pythagoras. I'll repeat again. There are numbers like, there will be good numbers like 16 and there will be wicked numbers like 8. When you find the square root of 16, it will be 4. But when you are dealing with these wicked numbers, their square root would be 2 root 2. Are we clear about this or not?
So the clear.
So let's go to Pythagoras.